All right, everybody, just got through watching episode 2 of The Penguin. Let's see what everybody thinks about it right after this. All right, guys, episode 2 of The Penguin. We had the first episode. Everybody loved high scores all around. I don't think anybody went below an 8. I think most people even had it higher than an 8 on episode 1. We got into episode 2. Not as much action and stuff and like setup or whatever. Like this is actually like the aftermath of what we saw in episode 1, which I was perfectly fine with. But yeah, general thoughts. We'll start with Brandi. Like, what did you think generally about this episode? Did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah. I the way that the things are playing out, like I enjoy that storyline where you see like, okay, where's this going now? And then seeing that plans are being like kind of foiled a little bit, and then seeing how they come out of that. And I pretty much enjoyed stuff that makes you think.
Gotcha. Greg.
Definitely like R.I.P. Castillo. Our homeboy. My last name. To the connection. I mean, it was a great cat and mouse episode when we got to see how Oz juggled both families, stay in the middle between both families, and the wild card is who Sophia is.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to juggle all of that, and you saw him kind of once again maneuver and get what he ended up wanting at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Was being, kind of like gonna get where he wants to go, basically, and having alliances that can help him do that and get where he wants to go and have the power. So it was a good episode.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. A lot of stuff in here, like it's going to roll over to the second episode. From the first episode, we saw great acting by all parties. Same thing happens here. And I agree. One of the things about Lord of the Rings, or not Lord of the Rings, but Game of Thrones that I like, even House of Dragon, is that you need to pay attention to the episode. You need to listen. You need to like watch what's going on. You really can't step away or just listen to it in the background. You really got to see like people's facial expressions, maybe something they're doing as they're doing something else, that kind of thing. Because like in the first episode, he gets those pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like they don't make a big deal about it. He just kind of glances at them, and then like he gets into that thing with Alberto, kills him, and everything else. But yeah, everything comes into play. All the details are there. They're paying attention to what's going on. The story so far is written like super good. It's like exactly what you think it's going to be. I mean, the Penguin was like basically like in the mob, and now because the leader died of a family, you got the power vacuum and what's happening there. And it's pretty interesting because he is having to play like all three sides. He's playing like the mob family or the mob bosses side, like the people that maybe not even part of the actual family, but they're actually part of the mob affiliation. Then you have him playing the Sophia side, and then you have him playing the other family that is like their rivals at the same time. Yeah, super interesting and super fun to like watch, even when there's not like per se like a lot of action, because when you write a story really well and you put things together really well, even the like so-called non-action scenes are still kind of like action scenes, because you're sitting on the edge of your seat wondering, oh crap, what's going to happen here? Oh shit, he's in this position. Oh shit, the kid's trying to put the jewels in the car and he gets caught trying to do it. Like, so even though those aren't like these super big, huge like gun battles or like action set pieces or anything, they feel like action, because you're like, oh crap, like what's happening now? Like, what's he going to do here? What's he going to do there? And everything else. So nah, man, I think this is a solid episode and everything else. But we'll go to like maybe like a favorite moment and maybe like your least favorite moment, because even though like I said, a least favorite moment doesn't mean that you don't necessarily like it. You just may not like that particular portion, but you still think it's like kind of good. But we'll start with you, Brandi. What was like your favorite like moment in the episode?
Favorite moment? I don't know if I had a favorite. I know the least favorite moment was when he made the kid lay down with the dead bodies and was like, well, this is what happens when you mess up. And I know that was like a teachable moment. And an important moment was his mom and dancing with his mom. That might be a memorable moment for me because we find out she has dementia, and she was having an episode, and the landlord's basically watching her and trying to keep her into the house, and he tells Oz that she tried to leave and go to the mass, but it wasn't even Sunday. So you see her putting on the jazz music, and then he told Sophia about that moment of his mom when his brothers died, and he took her to a jazz club and danced with her, and that kind of tied back to what he was doing with her. So I guess that would be a moment that stands out in a kind of good way.
Yeah, I think that's like a good part about the episode, though, is because that little scene may just be like in a lot of other shows, may not even be that important, but in this one right here, it just lays the groundwork for what he's talking about. And there's some like, maybe there's some dishonesty. Obviously, there is some dishonesty in the story he tells Sophia because, you know, he's saying that his mom's dead and she's not.
No.
But like, so how much of the story is 100% true? But we do know that some of that story is true, right? Like,
yeah, the dancing to jazz music.
The dance and the jazz music is something he does actually do with his mom. So like I said, a scene that may not be as important in a lot of other shows turns out to be at least semi important here. Lets you get like more insight and stuff. But Greg, man, favorite moment of the episode? Do you have one?
I think the overall, like Brandon was saying about the banter between him and Vic, I think you can see the parallels between what happened with Oz growing up and kind of like, because he tells a story about him becoming the driver of that one dude. Then that dude ends up being talked to the Fed, so Carmine kills him, but then Carmine sees something in Oz, so he takes him on, and he's trying to, like, you can see the parallels of like he's teaching Vic how to survive in the business and trying to like bring, because he sees something in him and trying to bring him out of him. So, I don't know if he'll ultimately, like, it's setting us up to like for Vic's tragic death. It's going to hurt us a lot, you know. Like, I don't know if it's going to happen like that, or maybe we see Vic's rise, you know, in future episodes to power. But I just like that banter between them two, really.
Was there like a least favorite? Like I said, it doesn't have to be like bad, because I don't think there's, you know, going over the episode, I don't think there was anything bad. There's not even something funny that I could pick out, like the first episode when I said something about they didn't don't unlock his pass, or he doesn't lock his passenger side. It's just left on the car. Last time there was not even any of those moments like you could try to choose. I think everything in here was pretty solid. It was a lot of like build up, getting you ready for what's to come later on in the season. But was there anything that like you didn't particularly like? Like maybe what's your bottom thing, even if it's still like a good thing?
Probably that Oz wasn't able to get Johnny, what's his name, Johnny Vici or Johnny something with a V, right?
V.
Yeah, Johnny V. I think it was all set up. You know, he had, you know, the pictures of him and Carmine's wife. He was gonna plant the jewels and everything. It just didn't turn out, and I just didn't like that guy. So I was kind of rooting for him to go ahead and take the fall. I thought it was like,
I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna be honest with you. When he did the whole like put the knife up in his shirt and then
I thought it was gonna be Johnny V.
The fight. Yeah, I thought he was putting it in Johnny V's like coat pocket or something like that to catch him off guard. But it ended up being the other guy. And to be honest with you, I think that was actually a smart move. And I think that also shows great writing for the show, that they didn't take that like easy way out. They recognized the fact that, you know what, there may have been something that could have caught back to him if he would have tried to do that to Viti, because he is like a higher up individual, and they got in a scuffle together. So it's like, wait 1 second, did he get in that scuffle on purpose to be able to plant the knife? There's like a little bit of like doubt there if he brings it up, right? He's like, well, he must have put that on me, kind of crap. Like, he started this stupid fight for no reason in here, and like, you know, now all of a sudden I got a knife I don't even own. So picking the lower guy, I think, was actually like the super intelligent move that most people wouldn't catch watching it. But after the fact, like, I'm like, oh shit, that's why he put it in this lower level guy's pocket, because people don't know him as well. They're not going to trust him. They're going to take his ass out. Where you got this Viti guy who's like obviously trusted with the family. He's like one of the higher ups. Some people even say he might even be untouchable, like his one hooker friend says earlier in the episode. So like I actually think that was a really smart move. But like I said, if he would have planted it on Vici, I don't think a lot of people would have like caught what could have been bad because of that. So I'm actually glad. Like I love it when the writers are like can outsmart the audience.
Yeah.
I love it. That makes it so much better because you're like, oh yeah, man, dude, like I'm glad these people are working on the show because I might not have saw that, or I might not have thought about that little detail and stuff like that. So that's some of the things right there that I'm seeing so far that is just super good so far about the show. Now it could fall apart as we go down the season. But these first 2 episodes has pretty much got me like set up for the rest of the season and pretty hyped about what they might be putting out. Like I said, I'm not like the biggest Penguin fan. I don't think most people are. They like the Penguin. But if you were to Rogues Gallery Batman, you know, Penguin might be on the lower levels for some people. And like for them to make a show this interesting about someone like that is, I think they're doing a damn good job.
Hell yeah.
And one thing I caught during this episode, and I'll ask y'all about it, if y'all caught it, and then what do you think about it afterwards, even if you didn't catch it, was when they were talking about the hangman on the radio, whenever the one guy's about to change it and she says, keep it on there because she wants to hear what they're saying. Like they killed 7 women.
Yeah.
Like, what do y'all think about that? So does that mean she was going around like killing these women, or do you think like she was just put the blame for that and it really wasn't even her?
That could be true. Could be she didn't do it. They just blamed it on her, made her crazy. But she does have those things that she's, you know, flashbacks of things and stuff, and sleeping in the closet because I guess that's where it goes back to being in the asylum.
Yeah, I mean, some people after they've been incarcerated for a long time, it takes them a little bit to like acclimate to like getting back to the regular thing.
Yeah, because I don't know if you realize she was sleeping in the closet. She wasn't sleeping in her bed. She was in the closet.
I didn't recognize a closet, but she's like got the really rich, so that's probably just a big ass closet.
Oh yeah, no, it was a big closet, but she was sleeping in the closet. She wasn't in her bed. She came out of the closet.
But Greg, what do you think, man? You think she out there hunting women, like? Because that was a detail to me, and I was like, I don't know.
Well, I noticed the details. The cousin told her to go, oh, we should plan a girls' trip to the place that the uncle told her she needed to go to. But when the little girl came, she was obviously planted. The uncle must have told if that was his daughter, because it was her cousin. So I'm guessing that was his daughter. Yep. And she said, we need to plan a girls' trip to this island. Oh, you always like to go there. And then the little girl came, and she like acted like, oh, don't go near her. Like, isn't like she was afraid of her. But just a second before, she wasn't acting like she was afraid. And then at the end, the uncle said the same thing. Oh, you need to go to this place. And I was like, oh.
I think she may have killed the 7 women. For whatever reason.
Oh, she's crazy. She could have, but they also maybe not all 7. Maybe it was a few.
So it's either she's a serial killer or she was something the family did and kind of blamed it on her. Is that what you're trying to get at? Like there's some kind of
maybe, but like the Penguin's like one of the ones that helped put her in there, like because that's something that like that's why they have like this little bit of a beef with each other. Because like he even said like that's why he says like I owe you and stuff like whenever she's like walking away that one time and she's like I don't owe you anything and he's like I owe you. It's because he did something that helped her put her where she was at. So like to me, that means she was doing something fucked up. Because to me, I see the Penguin character as somebody that was super loyal to the crime boss. The crime boss dies. And he doesn't have loyalty to the rest of the people, though. And because he doesn't agree with what they're doing, like I see that if Alberto, the son, if he would have been like a picture perfect of his father, wanted to keep doing the same things his father did, wanted to keep Penguin around and respected Penguin and stuff like that. Like, I don't see any of this stuff playing out. But because he was like a whacked out, like alcoholic and druggie himself, and making like stupid decisions or whatnot, and then doesn't obviously respect the penguin and everything, so the penguin ends up shooting his ass. Like then all this stuff starts falling away. But I think that if like the Alberto kid was like a person that learned from his father, was very respectful to the people that his father like looked up, or not really looked up to, but trusted in, and all this, I don't think none of this right here happens at all, period. So I just think it started falling apart because of that. So what I'm saying though is like the penguin being that loyal to the boss, I don't think he would be doing something. I don't think the penguin would be doing shady, like something shady to Sophia, which was his boss's daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like before he died. Like now, I do think things are going to happen now because Sophia's ass is crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, because like Brandi brought up the point about she was kind of like got scared by her kid, and she pulled him closer to like, and that, you know, it would make sense because she's fearful that she killed women, right? So they'd be like, well, maybe.
And that was her daughter.
Yeah, but also the daughter.
She wasn't fearful at first when they were talking. They were like, "Oh, hey."
Yeah, no,
it's weird.
She's only scared because her daughter walks up, and now Sophia knows who her daughter is.
But also,
she wouldn't want Sophia to know. But here goes the thing about that: how stupid are you, woman? You're gonna go to a funeral you know that Sophia's at, and bring your kid. There's an easy excuse. My kid doesn't deal with funerals very well, and she's really young, so we didn't bring her. Like any of that, you could use for a logical excuse for you not to bring your kid to a funeral. She's so stupid, she doesn't even use that, and then basically puts her kid in danger because, like, now Sophia
knows who she is,
and knows what she looks like. I don't think Sophia is going to kill the kid, but like, still, like.
But also, what was interesting was her name. The kid's name was Isabel, and then they pan to a scene where she's looking at graves, and there's an Isabel up there.
So, oh yeah, because they're definitely like, you know, and you in the crime boss family, and especially if you're not.
That's like
might have been her mom or something like that, but like you in this crime boss family, bruh, and you're not one of the higher ups. You're just like a cousin and shit. You know, they always trying to like gain favor from like the big person. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm going to name my kid after this person that you think super important or whatever, just to try to gain favor.
I think that was her mother. That's why she was looking at the fathers and the lady, and then her brother. So it was all her family.
Yeah, because the ladies in the picture that they're trying to set up Ovidie with is obviously not like Sophia and Alberto's mom. She's like some lady that the crime boss lord had like afterwards, after their mom died, I guess, or something like that. Because she's obviously like a younger woman, it looks like in the pictures.
Oh, I thought it was like her. I thought it was Carmine's brother, the guy who's now in charge of the family's wife.
Oh, well, I might have. I thought that was the guy who died in the movie the Batman, like kind of like woman after the fact. Because that's what I thought, like that he's been, but maybe you might be right, because that would make sense as well. Like either one of them works to the same effect of this VD guy's out here screwing one of the big people's like, girls. Like, so that's going to cause some strife. That's going to cause some issues and everything else. And now I'm wondering, because like the other crime boss family now has those pictures and he wasn't able to use them. So I wonder what they're going to do with those pictures.
Yeah,
he has to have copies, because why would he just give his only copy away?
Yeah, that would be, if that's the case, like he's only got the one set, that would be something that
he'd probably set up, be like they're trying to set up because they have.
Like if I was them, like I would say like, hey, Oz gave me this, and this is of your boss, of your underboss screwing your boss's wife. So I would take them both out. I would take both Johnny V and Oz out at that point.
Another thing I liked is they're all speaking another language in front of him. And then we find out the landlord that takes care of his mom is speaking Spanish and to him, and he's answering him in English.
Now the one
and
thing
they're speaking that in front of him in a different language, and he's knowing what they're saying. And they're calling him, he's a dog, he's expendable, all this stuff. So he knows what they're thinking about him.
Yeah, now that's the thing though, is he could know multiple languages and not just Spanish, but I would take it the crime boss would be speaking more Italian than they would have been like speaking Spanish.
But they know he knows different languages, so I know he knows them, but he just doesn't speak them. There's just,
Yeah, I can see
you're
a moment.
around long enough, especially if you're around Italian and they're all speaking Italian. Hello, you're gonna know.
Yeah, no, I could see later on, like a moment happening where that one of them says something like really stupid, and then he just like finally, because he's got the upper hand, shows them like, I know what I'm saying this whole time, idiot. Like, that's why your ass is dying now, because you kept running your mouth, kept saying dumb shit. So I could see that definitely happening. But not, man, I'm kind of I don't know what they're gonna do with episode 3 with the next episode. Usually these kind of shows will have like, say, they'll have the peak and then they'll come to a little bit of a valley, like this episode where it was kind of even pretty much all the way across it. There really wasn't no like super big moments, but there definitely wasn't any low moments in this episode. And then like next episode, there's might jump up a level to where there's some other things going on, where there's some people that's possibly dying or being in tougher situations and stuff like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed the episode because it builds the characters. His young driver is not just a throwaway character. We're actually getting to see him get like character development, which I think is really cool. Like, he learns that lesson of like, hey, dude, you better get your ass tough. That's what I like to say about a lot of these younger people on the damn internet these days. Like, you're gonna have to toughen up, man. You can't screw up doing these things, because this is like life or death and everything else. This ain't nothing to be playing around with. So giving him that kind of like tough love, like, hey, you see these dead people? They're on the ground. Yep. You'll be buried next to them if you keep messing around. Yeah. You can't get caught. Like, to be honest with you, what I would have did, like, because it still would have been like still doing the same thing. Because that one guy says, what did you take out of his car? You say, look, man, look, I'm sorry, man. The alarm going off. I'm sorry. And you throw the bag down and say, look, you can
still stuff on him.
Yeah, you can still have it. You can have it. Like, I didn't know what it was. I'm sorry. Yeah. And then take off running like he did and get away like he did. But like, the bag is still there, and the guy picks it up and thinks that the kid stole it from the truck or the vehicle. And so now it would still be planning on the VD guy, because that guy would then go in and say, oh, I caught this kid trying to take these out of VD's vehicle and everything else. So that actually still could have did the plan, but see, he kind of choked and just ran off with the bag and everything. Obviously, the penguin was able to do the job himself. He planted them somewhere himself that he wanted them afterwards, because that's what she had at the very end when they were sitting down next to each other at the graves. So we're going to find out. And it was a very specific bag that was like obviously taken by her brother. So she knows whoever possibly has these diamonds or something has something to do possibly with him dying. So.
Yeah, we're going to see, like, so if you're Oz, you have to have each family destroy each other. And then you're going to probably have to take out Sophia too. So that way you can claim the whole pie, the whole city to yourself. So you got to figure out how to start weakening both sides. I don't think he's going to rely. You think he's going to align himself with the Maronis, or?
Nah, it's all that to me. He's like, he wants the organization that his boss was leading to overrule. Like, he's not going to be like just going to the Maronis to do whatever. He's using them to get what he needs, which is to take, like, he can't take down the crime family by himself. He needs them guys to like come in and do like a war, cause chaos, so that like he can get certain things done so that he can take over. He's eventually going to be like, oh, screw you Maronis, and like stab them in the back or whatever. To me, that's pretty obvious, the kind of thing. I would say, like, he's just trying to take over the crime boss, not really the city, because like even in this episode, I thought was a cool little drop was like that one guy was like, talk to the Riddler.
Oh yeah.
So like we know like the Riddler's out there, which like if this is after the movie, so like he's still telling him to talk to the Riddler, but that's the Riddler's in jail right now. If I'm not, he got caught. So like So in this universe, the Riddler is kind of in jail, but that still doesn't mean, just like we've seen with the Maroney family, you still can go talk to these guys, and they still have some kind of power, even though they're in jail. But
he had a whole everybody visited him at the same time.
Oh yeah, that guy's in jail, but he's not in jail.
Yeah, no.
Like, it still sucks for him that he doesn't have the ultimate freedom of going around town and shit like that. But like,
he had like 10 people in the room with him. They were all
he's not spending time in jail like everybody else.
Definitely like a Marvel Kingpin style.
All right, let's go down the line. Brandi, any last like thoughts or like things that we didn't cover in the episode, and then give a score?
Oh, the beginning of the episode when Sophia had her dream, that kind of like, that was, you kind of get to see a little bit of what she thinks about and dreams about and stuff, and all the stuff that gets into her head to make her how, crazy she is a little bit. And then the doctor, that he was kind of creeped me out a little bit. I don't know. Did you get any of those vibes? He's like, breathe, look at this. And then he was like,
no, he's calming her down. I do think that some people going to see that stuff.
And then she was like,
no, I do think she's an attractive lady. I do think that the doctor probably has like some attraction to her, or maybe after the talks and stuff and spending time together where he actually likes her or whatever a little bit.
I don't know.
But that was only felt at the very end of the scene kind of thing, where like she kind of gets away from him and then he's kind of looking at her and he's trying to still like help her out. But I didn't see him do anything. Like, she's going crazy and like he grabs her to calm her down.
And then it was a little too much of a linger, and I was like, ooh, no. No, patient doctor. No, that's crossing. You know her, how she is, and don't cross that line. I hope that's not what is going on.
I mean, he could have been a little bit that way, but like there wasn't enough evidence there to say like.
No, but it was just a little.
I do think that he likes her, right? Like the way he was looking at her and stuff like that. You could look at it and be like, he does like her.
Is there a Scarecrow in this universe yet? No, right?
Don't know. I mean, he's definitely around, probably doing something fucked up.
But
to be honest with you, he could be somebody in the lore of Batman. I'm not like I'm a fan of Batman. I like a lot of the major characters and stuff, but like he had a name tag on his desk there. Like, so yeah, you could look up that guy's name and he might be like somebody that ends up being somebody like in Batman, like the actual like comics and stuff.
I think his name is Dr. Julian something. I can't remember the last name, but
that would be something to look up to see if he actually is somebody and not just a doctor.
But so that was one of the things. A lot of things happen. I'm trying to remember everything, but I did enjoy this episode, and I do enjoy the ups and downs of what makes you think, and you never know what's going to happen next. And like, Penguin gets thrown these obstacle courses, and the way he maneuvers to get it back on course a little bit. He might have to take a different route, but he still gets there, and I like that. I like the thinking, and so this is probably like a 7.5, 8 for me. It's pretty up there.
I like when a show can do this. It actually still makes it interesting, and they just don't pick the easiest route every time. Like, that's what I like about it. But Greg, man, something that you're right here at the very end, like kind of last words, and what's your score, man?
Score would be 7.8. I really liked it. I think I like the first episode more. I have to go back and watch them both and see, but I think still the first one. This one comes right under. I'm just thinking, long term, like, who's the one that really brings? I mean, I'm assuming Penguin's not going to make it. Like, most mob movies, or the people always die at some point. They never really make it to the top, or they never stay at the top long. So, just thinking about who takes him out. Like, is it the fact that his mom gets revealed? That hurt him? I'm thinking his chick. I think his chick turns on him at some point. So I'm just interested in all this and how it's all split. It's gonna be tough because to have each episode have him have a problem, and then by the end of it, he's weaseled himself out. And a solution that gets kind of boring at some point.
I will say though, I think so far they're doing it in a creative enough way to where like he's still like in trouble. Like it's not, oh, he just every time does something, like things fall apart. The kid was supposed to plant those diamonds, and then like, oh my God, that's happening. He ends up having to kill the guy instead of just having him mention the name Beatty or whatever. Like, so like there are creative ways that they're going through this to where he's got a game plan, but even his game plan is not going to work out every time, right? Like, but I do agree there are going to be things that happens. It's going to be thrown his way. It's going to look pretty bad. Every episode so far, and I agree with Greg. I guess if you're saying that every episode is going to have him in serious trouble and then like he gets out of it somehow, I guess that could be like redundant. You know what I'm saying? Like, because technically in the first episode, he's about to get his arm cut off with some chicken wire, and he survives that. He gets out of that at the last second. And then this episode, even though things go wrong, like, and he's kind of in a tight spot, he's like in a room where you're about to get caught. He's got the murder weapon on him and everything. He's able to escape by that, get out of that. He's had to kill that guy and whatnot to save himself.
I thought he was going to leave the knife there. I was going to wipe his hands off. I thought he was going to leave the knife there. Why didn't he? But now you see he needed it to plan on somebody. But I thought he was leaving.
Well, my thinking too would be, bro, Sophia's ass, she like paranoid. She would have definitely had that cop friend that they had helping them out, like get some fingerprints or something from it.
Yeah.
Like, and even though you're wiping it off, that doesn't mean that you.
Oh, I know.
You may not do a good enough job. And I would assume the penguin's fingerprints is on the database. You know what I'm saying? Pretty sure his ass got caught doing something, even though it was small or something like that. Didn't have to do a lot of jail time.
Got to bleach all that off.
We got to go do something. But yeah, like, nah. I mean, but yeah. What did you said? 7.8. I'm gonna go a 7.4.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? 7.4.
That's
because I'm leaning closer towards a 7, but I think it was still a solid episode. The way a show's supposed to be, it's supposed to be like this. You're supposed to get if a show is done well and they're telling a story right, you're gonna have, like, I think the first episode was like this good set piece that got everything started. There was a lot of action stuff going on, you know, all that kind of stuff. He was put in danger at the very end of the episode and everything. And then this episode was a lot of fallout from what was going on past that, from all these, like him killing Alberto to like the obviously the power vacuum thing. And I think a show does well to have these episodes that let you, like I was talking about with Lord of the Rings, let you breathe a little bit, right? So you had that big moment, Home Dude's arm's about to be chopped off and everything else. And in this episode, you deal with the repercussions of what happened and what didn't happen during that. And you're laying those bricks to be able to get to the end, which I think is like a really, really, really good way to do things, to be honest with you. Because, and like I said, if you're doing it smart and doing it interesting, and the stuff that you're writing is interesting, like the conversations you're having is interesting, and it's done like it's in a good way.
You get lost in it.
So now we got this kind of conclusion of who killed the brother. Now she's gonna try to go after the family. So now it's a different type of thing.
Oh yeah, she's going after these people that don't respect her, you know, because like her brother was going to take over, and these crime bosses sat back and was going to like let that happen. And now he's dead. You would assume that she might be like the second, because that she's the daughter, and like these guys are stepping in like, hey, why don't you take a trip over here to Italy?
It's the Lord of the,
you know, yeah, go shopping.
House of the Dragon thing.
Yeah, go shopping and shit. The thing about it is, I'll say like
that's what they think women are.
To me, the weakest point of the story so far is that with the Sophia thing and these crime bosses. Sophia was in fucking prison for killing motherfuckers. Okay. She ain't no girl that wants to necessarily go to some place because it's beautiful and be shopping and doing all these girl trip things or whatever. She's obviously killing, you know, like if that's true, we may come to find out that she wasn't the one killing people or whatever. And like she did take the fall for some reason. But like we may find that out, and maybe that makes it a little different. But she's obviously like crazy. She's grabbing food. Then she hears people talking, and she's like shoving even weird food in her mouth and stuff like that on purpose to like show like, yeah, I'm weird. Shut the hell up. I'm crazy. But like for these guys to be like sitting over here kind of trying to push her to the side, nah, dude, like that's the weakest part of the story to me. Because I don't think maybe maybe like a character like Veedy, right? That's over here sleeping around and everything, thinks she ain't shit. But like I don't think the other crime boss, like the one we met today that was actually part of the family, like I guess her uncle or whatever, like I don't think he would be one that would just shove her to the side. She's obviously done something. So she's either been going around killing people or she done something to sacrifice for the family, which are two really big things, right? So like she's either the killer that you should be careful about and you should be smart around, or she's someone who sacrificed for the family that needs to be respected. So like to have these crime bosses kind of like pushing her to the side and acting like she ain't that big of a deal, I do think is probably the weakest part of the story, because I think at least one of them, I can see one or two guys being like that, but I don't see, like, these guys are supposed to be pretty damn smart, you know, been around the business for a while, like, and everything else. So like, I think one of them should be recognizing her power, one of them, but it doesn't seem like any of them are. So I would say them being blind to how powerful she could be or even become is kind of like a plot hole a little bit to me, because of the fact that I think at least one of them would. I understand that like one or two of them will be, man, whatever, but I don't think all of them would base it like what they're doing. The only person that's acting like she's anybody is the Penguin, and I don't think that would happen in a real issue. I think someone would be like recognizing her talent, or at least recognizing the loyalty she has if she wasn't a killer, right? Like I said, like if she was doing the time for the family, that's pretty damn courageous for her to go to Arkham. But that's a bunch of crazy ass MFers in the Arkham and everything else. So like, so either way, it would either be the respect you would have for her, or it would be because you like a little scared because like she is a damn killer. She's ruthless. So I just don't think you would be like, I just don't think all of them should be acting like that.
They're all afraid of her. She did something. She's powerful.
So I would say
they're all afraid.
Because I did forget to give this out real quick. I did give my score at 7.4, but I would say the weakest part of the story so far is the fact that all the crime boss people, like the higher ups, are kind of ignoring her, because I don't think all of them would. I think at least one of them would recognize like either her talent or loyalty. So I'd say that was my least favorite thing so far that was in the episode and stuff that I'm noticing now. And my favorite was actually him teaching that kid, like, listen, we're not playing games. You know what I'm saying? This is real. You either live or die. Like there's no other option. You live or die. You said you wanted to be in this. You in this. Now you got to start acting right, because now you got to pay the consequences. So I think a lot of people don't do that. I think I'm almost like sitting back going like, yeah, toughen him up, man, because a bunch of wussies out there, man. A bunch of wusses out there. Everything like offends people and gets people pissed. Like Brandi, you brought up something, but you wasn't offended by it. You were just talking about how you thought that guy was a little creepy, right? Like there's a difference there than saying something about it that you might notice and then being offended. I guarantee you, if I wanted to go on Twitter right now after that episode and everybody saw it, there's going to be some people out there talking about like, that shouldn't have been in the episode, man. That guy was a little bit creepy. He was a little too hands-on-y and stuff like that. And it's like, bro, shut up. There are characters that are going to do that. There are people that are, if you think he was super creepy, there are super creepy people out there, right? But
it's like he's crazy. There's crazy people out there. There's mafia people out there. There's all these type of people out there. We don't know them, but they're there.
I know this ain't sports, but it does pertain to movies, because like there was an Alabama player. Listen, I'm an Auburn fan. War down, by the way. We suck. But I hate Alabama. But there was an Alabama player that had eye black that said "kill everybody." Well, that's an actual phrase used in one of the most popular ever like sports like football movies. I think it's either Any Given Sunday or it's the one where they're in college, but I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, it's a phrase from like a movie and everything that he has on there. And there's people out there, even Alabama fans, that are saying he needs to sit on the bench and stuff. How could you have somebody out there playing in the game with something like that? Bro, shut up. You're playing football where he could get seriously hurt and injured. He's pumping himself up. He's using a phrase from like a movie or whatever, or whatnot, that he may love or like. And like, why is he getting criticism, man? Our society's gotten so weak that you have a football player that just has somebody. He's obviously not going out there trying to kill everybody. He's on offense for whatever. He's the one that people are trying to kill. Not really kill, like figuratively, right? But like, it's just so stupid, man, how wussified like a lot of these people are, man. I'm getting sick of it. And then it's hypocrisy because these people will complain about dumb shit like this and then be the creepy ones that's doing it. They'll be like, oh, man, look at that creep that was over there touching Sophia in the episode. And then like 2 weeks later, it comes out that they were treating somebody really creepy in some DMs or something. Man, get out of here, bro. Tired of this bull crap. You know what I'm saying, man? We got to toughen up. So I love the fact Home Dude's getting that tough love, made his ass look at those dead bodies and everything and be like, hey, it's time to get right. Ain't no wussies. Ain't no wussies can be in this job. We got to get this shit done, and you got to do it, and you got to be tough. You got to be tough mentally and physically. And let's get it done. Well, unless everybody has one last thing to say, we getting out of here.
7.75.
7.75. We got a 7.8 over there, 7.4 with me. Obviously, we're loving this show. This show, to me, right now, out of the things that are going on at this moment or in this recent time period, to me, this is the best show going on right now. Now, with that being said, I can't watch every show, so maybe there's a show out there that I'm not watching, but as the things that we're watching with like Lord of the Rings, Penguin, we just got through watching stuff like The Acolyte wasn't that far away. This is obviously like the best thing. Agatha, this is better than all of them. So right now, overall. Anybody disagree? Do y'all like one? Brandi, I know Brandi's tough with Agatha. I know Brandi likes that little like that comedy and stuff like that with Agatha. Would you say you like Agatha better than Penguin so far, or do you think?
I like them both the same.
Okay.
I like them both the same.
Get out of here, man. You believe that? You believe?
They're different things. I was about to flip you off.
No, it's like I can see like if you love the comedy and everything else, and you like the characters and stuff, and kind of like I can see where that could be a more fun show. This is a more hardcore show. Get your blood pumping a little more, but like I can see Agatha if you like the character. Like I do like the character so far and stuff. I don't have a problem with the show, but it's obviously not my cup of tea every second. Like
it's different, two different shows. I like them both.
I like it when people die. Horrible death.
Sharon's not dead.
Oh, she's dead as hell.
Kitty.
Yeah, Kitty gone, son. Kitty gone.
Kitty Foreman.
All right. Little extra singing for you guys. But hey, man, till next time, peace. Please like, subscribe, do all that kind of good stuff. You can join our switching over to Ko-fi because Patreon's doing some weird stuff where it's charging people extra money, or they take away some of that money whenever you're doing that if you go through Apple and everything. So we decided to switch it up a little bit. Join up over there. You can come in the Discord, hang out with us, and watch these shows together like we are. Be a part of the family and be able to be on these things and talk about the episodes like we're doing now. But yep. See y'all next time.